Before the world understood the power of the internet, a small group of digital ghosts rewrote the rules of crime. They hacked banks without stepping inside, stole identities from thousands of miles away, and launched attacks so bold that even the FBI stopped in disbelief. Today, we uncover the real stories behind the world's most shocking internet crimes and the masterminds who almost got away. They broke into systems from miles away. They stole data. They stole money. They shocked the FBI. This is the story of those crimes. It is a story of code, people, the law. This essay is for education and history. It does not teach crimes. All cases are based on public records, news reports, court files, and official releases. The digital world was once a frontier, a vast and uncharted territory built on trust and academic curiosity. Security was an afterthought. Openness was a feature, yet it created vulnerabilities no one fully anticipated. The year was 1988. The internet was a small, fragile web connecting approximately 60,000 computers. Robert Tappan Morris, a graduate student at Cornell University, conceived a program he believed would be harmless, a self-replicating piece of code, designed to travel across the network to measure the size of the internet. He designed it to be subtle, to avoid detection, to spread slowly. But a critical error in its code turned this academic experiment into a digital pandemic. It spread by exploiting vulnerabilities in Unix-based systems. It guessed common passwords. It probed for backdoors in email programs and used clever tricks to copy itself. The fatal flaw, even after checking for existing copies, it still replicated 1 out of every 7 times. Multiple copies spawned, consuming processing power until hosts ground to a halt. Across major universities, including MIT and research centers in California, systems slowed and crashed. System administrators watched in confusion as machines became unresponsive. An estimated 10% of the entire internet was affected. The network itself fragmented. Experts collaborated on cleanup, analyzing the worm's code to build defenses. Damage and downtime cost millions. The FBI was called in, one of its earliest major cybercrime cases. The trail led to Morris, who had launched from an MIT machine. He became the first person convicted under the 1986 Computer Fraud and Abuse Act. A watershed moment. It exposed the internet's fragility, triggered the creation of the first computer emergency response team, and elevated cybersecurity to a national priority. While the Morris worm demonstrated the power of malicious code, the case of Kevin Mitnick revealed a different, more insidious vulnerability: human trust. Mitnick was not just a hacker. He was a master of social engineering, the art of manipulating people into divulging confidential information. He knew the most secure system could be compromised by tricking an employee into giving him the keys. He would call pretending to be a technician, a colleague, or a frustrated customer. He coaxed passwords, network maps, and sensitive data from unsuspecting staff. His exploits became legendary underground, long before they hit the evening news. He infiltrated major telecom and tech firms, Motorola, Nokia, Sun Microsystems, copying proprietary source code and exploring protected assets. His activities sparked a multi-year FBI manhunt, a cat-and-mouse game across phone and data networks. Mitnick monitored law enforcement, cloned cell phones, and stayed a step ahead. After 2.5 years on the run, the FBI arrested him in 1995. His prosecution became a landmark. Held without bail, he became a symbol. Some saw a folk hero, others a dangerous new kind of criminal. The lesson: security isn't just firewalls and encryption. It's training people to resist social engineers. Mitnick's saga forced a shift toward the human element in corporate security. As email became a household utility, it opened a direct line for a new type of fraud that flooded millions of inboxes. This was the era of the Nigerian 419 scam, named after the Nigerian Criminal Code section on fraud. The premise was simple and alluring. A self-proclaimed prince, a government official, a grieving widow, each needed urgent help moving millions. In exchange, a cut of the fortune, just cover small upfront fees. The scams spread like wildfire. Their power wasn't technical, it was psychological. Organized syndicates blasted millions of emails. Only a tiny fraction needed to respond. They preyed on greed and sympathy, offering life-changing wealth and rescue tales. Victims ignored red flags and sent money. Forgery and urgent calls deepened the illusion, trapping victims in sunk-cost thinking. Operations ran from cafes, using anonymous accounts and complex banking webs. FBI and global partners launched awareness campaigns and dismantled rings, yet the scam adapted to world events. A stark reminder: online trust is easily exploited. The 2000s and early 2010s saw the emergence of hacktivists, individuals and loose collectives using hacking as protest. Motivated by ideology, they targeted corporations, governments, and institutions they deemed unjust. The most prominent, Anonymous, symbolized by the Guy Fawkes mask. They claimed to fight censorship, but methods blurred activism and crime. Their weapons, DDoS and data breaches, break in, steal, leak. Targets ranged from controversial organizations to payment firms and government agencies. LulzSec's 50-day spree in 2011 mocked victims while dumping data. They saw themselves as digital vigilantes, amplifying exploits through social media. Civil disobedience or harmful mob rule exposing private data. The FBI launched long investigations, digital forensics, surveillance, and infiltration. Agents and informants penetrated inner circles. Sabu, Hector Monsegur, flipped, leading to arrests and dismantling core cells, a turning point for the Bureau's cyber policing capability. In November 2014, Sony Pictures' corporate network was brought to its knees, an attack of unprecedented scale. Employees arrived to a menacing image. "We've already warned you, and this is just a beginning." The attackers, calling themselves the Guardians of Peace, stole nearly 100 terabytes before deploying destructive wipers. Operations were crippled. Leaked data included employee records, executive salaries, private emails, and unreleased scripts. The breach became an international incident as leaks spread online, fueling global headlines. The attackers demanded the cancellation of the interview and threatened theaters with violence, invoking 9/11. Major chains pulled the film. Within weeks, the FBI publicly attributed the attack to North Korea, a landmark moment. Attribution relied on malware analysis, overlaps with prior operations, and other intelligence. It crystallized state-sponsored hacking as coercion, censorship, and political warfare. The US condemned the attack. Sanctions followed. The front lines of conflict now included companies, power, and culture. The FBI's investigation and response highlighted its role defending against criminals and hostile powers alike. While state attacks and hacktivism grabbed headlines, large-scale identity theft quietly flourished. Names, birth dates, social security numbers, and passwords spilled onto the dark web. Organized rings operated like multinationals. Data acquisition, fraud execution, money laundering. Stolen identities turned into cash. SIM swapping. Criminals impersonate victims to hijack phone numbers. A critical security layer. They reset accounts and intercept two-factor codes, locking victims out while draining funds. Carding markets sold stolen cards for a few dollars each, powering vast fraud purchases and ATM cash-outs. The scale? Millions of cards, billions in losses. FBI and partners ran undercover forums, traced transactions, and coordinated raids. Operations like carding action and in-fraud takedowns led to arrests across continents. But it's whack-a-mole. Kill one marketplace, another emerges. The fight underscores global interconnection and the need for worldwide cooperation. Faced with diverse, fast-evolving threats, the FBI transformed. The Bureau expanded its cyber division, specialized agents, intelligence analysts, and computer scientists. The Cyber Action Team can deploy worldwide at a moment's notice with forensics, malware analysis, and crisis management. Cybiat attachés embedded in embassies build direct foreign partnerships. Working with Interpol and Europol, they share intel and execute joint operations. This cooperation dismantles dark web markets, botnets, and ransomware gangs. Ransomware has crippled hospitals, schools, and city governments. The FBI disrupts infrastructure, seizes crypto, and brings offenders to justice, while aiding victims through RAID. Looking ahead, the Bureau prepares for AI-powered threats, deepfakes, phishing, and new malware. Through InfraGard and NCFTA, public-private partnerships enable faster threat sharing. Continuous evolution is core to strategy. Be as agile and innovative as the adversary. The FBI's fight against cybercrime is more than case files. It's a series of lessons etched into our digital society. Each milestone revealed vulnerabilities in technology, behavior, and institutions. A small mistake can cascade into disaster in an interconnected world. The weakest link is often human. Clever lies can beat strong code. Motives aren't always money. Protest, ideology, even statecraft. Global networks exploit trust, hope, and greed, turning identities into commodities. Together, these stories form a curriculum in vigilance for the connected age. The digital landscape of 2025 is more complex and dangerous than the early networks. The internet is our daily infrastructure: finances, social ties, healthcare, public services. Threats will be faster, smarter, more insidious. Criminals and states already weaponize AI. We must not be complacent. Security is a shared responsibility. Choose strong, unique passwords. Enable two-factor authentication. Stay skeptical of unsolicited messages. Educate others. Keep software updated. Review privacy settings. Back up your data. Teach children and older relatives to spot manipulation. Report suspicious activity to local authorities and to the FBI's Internet Crime Complaint Center, IC3. Your report could stop the next major cybercrime. Cybercrime continues to evolve, and so does our mission to uncover it. If you found this documentary eye-opening, hit like, subscribe, and share to help others stay aware of the hidden dangers of the digital world. Your support helps us create more documentaries that reveal the truth lurking beneath the surface of the internet.